Cancer. What did y'all just think of? You probably just thought of a person. I know I did. I thought of several. The number one I'm thinking of right now is a girl named Caitlin. She's 19 years old. She attends this campus that I attended, and she has brain cancer. She's in Memphis as we speak. She has what's called neuroblastemia, and it is semi-aggressive, and it's really rare, especially for her age. Cancer is an incredibly dangerous disease. It's a very tremendous tragedy to get it. It's a scary word, but to me, it's more than that. It's what I'm supposed to do with my life. It's what I pray over. It's what I've been studying. It's what I will continue to study, and it's what I hope someday to be a part of, involved with a cure. This speech is going to be informative. It's going to tell you what cancer is. It's going to tell you how far I believe we are towards a cure, and it's going to tell you whether or not I believe that there is already a cure for it. So we're going to dive straight into it. Based upon my research, and according to the National Cancer Institute on what cancer is, the name given to this deadly disease is a collection of related diseases. In all types of cancer, some of the body cells begin to divide without stopping and spread into surrounding tissues. And what that is saying in modern day English is that normal cell growth, the cell grows, it lives its life, it does its job, and it dies off, and then it reproduces. That's cell life. The problem with cancer is the cell doesn't die. It dies and begins to mutate. The problem with that is when the mutations start, they spread, and they develop what's called tumors. And those tumors can go anywhere on your body. There's, according to this website, National Cancer Institute, there are over 100 types of cancer. Different ones, some way more common than others, some extremely rare. But definitely all, in a good estimate, around 100 different types of cancers. And the problem with cancer is that it's not like a universal transmission fluid where, boom, here's a cure that covers each different disease. It's all different. Each different type of cancer requires a different type of treatment. And that's why I believe that there's not a set cure for this disease yet. I've done a lot of research, and I've read his book by Dr. DeVita. It's called The Death of Cancer. Dr. DeVita's story is very interesting. He entered the medical field as a cardiologist. He wanted to be a cardiologist, rather, but in his clinical rotations in medical school, he got stuck in a cancer ward. And he did his time here. He did 4 years at this place and ended up staying an additional 4 years. He fell in love with helping people with cancer. And to a lot of people, that sounds crazy. That's what I'm planning on trying to do, just not at the same level as Dr. DeVita. But in the short summary, Dr. DeVita spent over 50 years working in cancer. He saw it all. He worked in a hospital, and it's really neat to me. He worked in a hospital that was called the Hospital of No Hope. Basically, when you got so bad off, when you were so eaten up with cancer, you went to this hospital, and they treated you based on the terrible, the worst part of cancer you can have, and they did experimental treatments. And some of these treatments were effective, some were not. But upon his research, he's in his 90s now and still alive. He says he believes we are closer now to a cure than we ever have been. And while that makes sense, obviously, the further 20 years from now, we'll be closer than we are today. He says we're not far from a complete cure. Out of all those 100 different kinds, he believes there's close to a cure for all of them. And the thought of that really excites me, because what I'm studying is to get rid of cancer and also prevent it. I wanted to be radiation therapist, dosimetrist, and those are just big fancy words for I want people to lay down on the table and I'll hit them with the radiation, and hopefully that'll get rid of the tumor. I don't have to steam it anymore. But the scary thing about that is it's not always effective. Dr. DeVita believes that we're close to me not having a job, in other words, and that's okay because I can find something else to do. But his work is paving the road for me to be able to help people, and I really appreciate that from Dr. DeVita. National Cancer Institute also says that of each different type of cancer comes a different, it entails so many other problems and side effects. Cancer includes severe weight loss, hair loss. It includes vomiting, and it includes just a slow, brutal death when you die of it. But I can firmly say that that's not always the case. Death is not always the end result of cancer. the last thing I'm going to mention to you is a trial that was done early this year at Stanford. Stanford School of Medicine conducted an experiment on 90 mice. They injected these 90 mice with a different form of cancer. Each mouse had a different form of cancer. And then Stanford School of Medicine injected each different mouse, every one of them, all 90 of them, 2 injections to try to cure the tumor. 87 of the 90 mice were cured. And these cancers that they injected them with include spontaneous cancers that just spread entirely, but they also include controlled tests, which is where they administer cancer to the mice's liver, and that cancer will not spread past the liver, and it cured that tumor, and it also cured the ones where they administered it to the heart, and it spread to the lungs, and it cured those as well. So Stanford's studies follow what Dr. DeVita has been saying and has been studying for the last 50 years of his work, that we are close to a cure, I believe. And I've spoken with other people as well. I've spoken to professors at MTSU who study molecular biology, and all they do is do microscope work on mutations of cells. That's what they do. And Dr. Prince says that she believes within the next 20 years, cancer will be completely eradicated. It'll be a common thing that you can just cure with an injection. And I believe that's great. But in saying all of this, I hope that you can walk away with a better understanding of what cancer is, as it is just basically defective cells that mutate and regenerate and spread and are just deadly, and different kinds, which are hundreds. And I really appreciate your time. That's all I have for you. Christie, here's my audience. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.